So yeah, I have certain mental issues, and obviously I'm gonna address them today. This is not a plea for help, because I don't think there is any help except for a professional one that I can get, and that would actually help me get rid of those issues that I have. Before I start the story time, I just want to say it's not like me begging, it's just a simple daily reminder that if you happen to enjoy my content, probably not this video but others, please don't be shy, don't be negative, give it a like, and comment down below whatever you can, because this kind of support really helps promote the channel. Okay, and of course subscribe if you would like to. Yeah, and I feel that since I'm raising this topic, probably it should be a field for discussion. So if any of you have experienced something similar, or if you just want to talk about some problems that you have, not exactly mental health issues, but anything you would like to talk about to someone, especially to someone you don't know in real life and you don't really care about them, this is the right place to discuss it. You can express anything you want. If you'd like to talk privately, you can always address me in DMs of Instagram or Twitter or wherever you want. You can even find my email in the description box. So if you'd like to talk to someone, you'd better do it. And especially if that someone is someone you have never met and would hardly ever meet. Now, enough talking, and let's get straight to the story time. I started noticing that I have certain troubles with my state of mind about probably a year ago, or a little less than that. But I started doing self-harm on myself. It's not okay, right? I know it's not a healthy way of dealing with something, with anything, okay? But it became for me not as a sign that I needed attention or something. It was not a plea for help. It was just my emotions bursting out in such a destructive manner. And it's not a healthy reaction. But I know why it started happening with me. I keep banging on this mic with my hat. I should probably switch it over. Hang on. Okay, so now at least I won't be banging on the mic. So, it was the time when the pandemic started and my university started doing some weird things. Those things that were really making us go out of our minds. They made us stress so much. By they, I mean mainly the administration of the university, but also some tutors. So I started going through stress. Like usually, like before, then the stress used to concern only the studying process itself, and it was okay for me to deal with. It was bearable, it was manageable. But when the pandemic started, everybody started going out of their minds, and so we had to suffer from various various parts of that overall stress. So as time went on, those outbursts of intense stress reached a point when I couldn't find any normal way of expressing my anger, my rage, my irritation, and especially when it was something that I have done wrong. I don't know, anything, but especially when it was something that I couldn't deal with, and I felt that I was making somebody else uncomfortable. I was blaming myself, and I couldn't do anything else but just like have outbreaks of self-aggression, and they happen all of a sudden. Like I don't know, maybe I could just stop and think, don't do it. But I cannot do that. I cannot just stop when those outbursts happen. It is so abrupt and so powerful. Those emotions overtake, and I cannot stop them. What I do basically is just, it's not like getting razors out and cutting myself, especially at like body parts that are always the most visible to everyone. It was something completely basic, like I don't know, I was like, could hit myself with a fist or something, I don't know, or bite my hand, the nearest thing I could reach. And again, it's bad, it's not okay, it's not normal, and I don't condone that kind of behavior, but as I say, at the moment of rage, it seems uncontrollable. So yeah, I talked to Irene about that, and like, she knows about it, and she's always encouraging me to fight my impulses, and she's always ready to give me some support that she possibly can. And yeah, I think I'm starting to kind of control that kind of behavior a little. But I still worry that when I freak out again, it will repeat. And also, the other thing that seems to be the cause, it's what I would like to call neurasthenia, like basically like the weakness of nerves. So it's usually characterized as like feeble, like aggression, feeble rage. So basically, not you, of course, like me. If I consider myself to be a neurasthenic, then basically I get angry very easily. Any like teeny tiny, absolutely nonsensical thing can provoke me to just like, I don't know, what can it be? Like, my bus hasn't turned up on time, and I'm like, what? So you see, any tiny meaningless thing, but it can affect my mood, and I can become like all of a sudden very unpleasant, very bad, and feeble as to, like, I guess it is about the ability to control yourself, or like you can burst into tears all of a sudden. So like, as easily as I can get enraged, the same thing happens to me feeling like, I don't know, ashamed, and possibly tearful and very like sulky. Like, yeah, so moody all in all, but with a tendency to everything about filming. I love lighting, like the camera placing, editing, everything. I love everything about filming. Probably the sound is my weakest part. Paradoxical to ASMR, which is all about the sound. As I used to consider when I first started doing ASMR, I wasn't bothered about camera or anything. I was bothered about the sound. But I just know that I'm a visionaire. Okay, I love filming. I love everything to do with visuals. But sound is not really my area. But I try to make the most of it anyway. So I keep reminding myself that I do this for my own pleasure, and it is correct. But still, when you make so much effort to make things work and you don't receive like what you want for such a long time, and with no prospect of the situation ever getting better, worse still, with it always constantly getting worse and worse. Like, just look at the number of views that I have now. It's all fallen down. It's like, it's beneath low. It's unfair, and I don't know what to do with it. I'm so frustrated. Like, I'm doing everything in my power to make it work, but it doesn't. I'm gonna try out a new thing that I have picked up from all those videos about how to SEO your videos properly in like recent year, but I'm not completely sure whether it'll work at all, because nothing I've tried so far has worked. I've had just one hit, and everything else is like and I haven't had a single hit ever since I got this camera. The lighting, everything seems to be so properly done, so good, almost professional, except for like views and stuff and promotion and SEOs, and I have no idea what to do with it. I've been using TubeBuddy for like ages, but it doesn't seem to do a lot for me. And anyway, some people don't even try to optimize their videos, but somehow their videos work. Possibly it's not only about optimizing your videos, I don't know, it's about a chance. I think everything started going downhill for my channel when a bunch of videos got deleted, and ever since my channel hasn't risen as like a tiny bit. It's only been getting worse and worse. So I'm really disappointed with how it all hasn't worked out with me. And I'm also pretty low on time to make videos, and especially low on effort, because as I've said, I barely have enough energy to do what I need to do. And doing YouTube when it doesn't even really pay off, I don't mean in money, I don't intend to make money with it. I mean, like, I don't achieve what I would like to achieve here. That's what I mean. I don't care if people consider it to be selfish to want like feedback from what you do. I don't care if they think it's selfish. I don't think it is. I think it's only fair. But anyway, I can't keep doing things that only waste my time and energy when it's just on pure enthusiasm. The enthusiasm is pretty low, as you can imagine these days. Maybe when I'm pumped up on serotonin again, I might keep producing, but right now I'm sure if I ever will, because I'm drained. And if this new technique that I want to try out doesn't work, then I don't know what will. Might either end this channel completely, but I still want to make content. Then I may leave this channel open, but make videos just once in a while when I feel like it, which I imagine will be very rare. I'm gonna find a job in the nearest few weeks, I hope, and so that will be another point of wasting my energy. But I need to earn money to realize what I need. I finished with the copywriting job because there was an unpleasant encounter with my manager. Again, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say anything odd, but so right now I don't have a stable income, and I needed to spend part of the money that I had earned to buy this new lens, because this is a lot wider angle lens. It's 17mm 1.4. I used to have a 50mm, but in order to film myself like I'm doing now, I'd have to place the camera almost 5 meters away from me. My room even isn't that large, so it's not really gonna work out. So yeah, I had to buy this lens. I wanted it specifically for the cursed items roleplay. I loved making that, and it's so cool. I'm also gonna release a backstage from that video, but I don't know whether it will be before I post this one or after. Yeah, so I don't know if it's if you're watching this after I published the backstage, but if you still haven't seen it, go watch it. I think it's really nice. I'm showing you how I prepared my character. Might be interesting. Yeah, so in conclusion, mental health is the most important thing, as well as your physical health, to take care of. So please try to find help as soon as you notice that you have a problem. Don't be afraid to admit that you have a problem, because there is nothing wrong with it. We can get ill physically and mentally, but what you truly need is not shame, but help, especially professional help. But if you cannot afford a therapist, then the first and most important thing you need to do right now is tell someone about your condition, about your feelings. Just tell them you need help, especially if it's someone that's near you, because they will be able to take care of you and probably even find you a therapist. My mental health is not the worst, but some troubles exist and they may affect the channel, so that's why I wanted to talk about that. I don't think I have anything else else to say right here. So I hope you all stay healthy and well, and nothing bad happens to you. Stay out of stress if it's possible for you. For me it's not, but if it is, please stay out of it. That's the best thing you can do for your mental health. Well, I hope I would see you pretty soon, and yeah, no more wasting time. Bye everyone, and I love you. You help me out in a rainy day.